It might surprise you to learn that GTA 5's Prologue has some very interesting facts and glitches, so I've compiled those that feature in my other videos just for you. If you don't switch to Trevor and allow the struggle with the guard to run its natural course, it ends in a pretty funny way. In the first scene on Prologue, you have 500 bullets. On the next scene, you have 1000 bullets. When you're looting the vault, you have 2000 bullets. When you go outside though, you lose these extra bullets and have 500 again. What is happening here is that the game is bugged and will double the amount of bullets you have in each scene, but set you back to 500 when you leave. If you ragdoll and then quickly switch characters, your original character will have an invisible weapon.
It's still wide open! Drop it, prick!
You can even switch back and fire the invisible weapon, although it does reappear when you run out of ammo.
The kid might have failed!
Another oddity occurs when you ragdoll as Trevor is taking off his mask.
Out of here. Can't be many more cops in this town! Bring 'em! This is fucked, man! The thing is blown!
Trevor will have less hair than normal and his mask will levitate on the ground. You'll further be locked out of your character, meaning you can't do much else except move and melee. I'm sure most of you know this room, but for those who do not, this is a part of some cut content from Prologue. It's only accessible by clipping through a wall using mods. I believe originally the player was meant to go in this room and deal with the surveillance footage by some means. As you escape with Trevor, Brad and Michael, you can point your guns at the cops that arrive and they will not respond.
Be cool! They ain't made this car yet!
I have played GTA 5's Prologue literally thousands of times, but I have never caught this mistake. The gang has 3 bags, 2 black, 1 tan, with Michael holding the tan bag. This is the case all the way until they get into the car, at which point the bags vanish from the car. When they get out of the car, all 3 bags are black, until they are walking again where one becomes tan. This is until Michael and Brad get shot, at which point the bags are all black again when they're on the ground. There is a special message on the back of the Ludendorff sign in Prologue. While not possible on the current patch, on older patches it was possible to bring up your phone when the GTA 5 logo appeared after the Prologue cutscenes. This resulted in the screen going black prematurely, and it usually was coupled with the game failing to load the next scene. Once this shutter opens, you can gain access to some movable boxes. You can then stand on one of the boxes and take cover on a wall. Eventually you'll see behind you that the other 2 boxes will despawn, at which point you can look away from the box you're standing on and it too will despawn. For some reason, Trevor will be able to rotate on his center following your camera movements. It is possible to get some really nice spins going. It is possible to glitch one of the Prologue cutscenes by shooting the getaway vehicle until petrol leaks out, and then shooting the petrol the same time as you get into the car.
Shut the fuck up and drive!
Woo! Did you see that shit? I fucking put that bitch's face against the glass. Did you see that? Yeah, you're a real stout.
What the fuck is this?
You are unable to shoot your allies, except through a small hole for some reason.
Slow and steady, team. Slow and steady.
Let's do this!
If you are in first person with Michael when you attempt to blow up the explosives, his phone will appear to be a silver color. In third person, however, the phone that appears on the screen will be black, even if the phone in his hand will still look like it's silver. Perhaps it's a trick of the light, but I could not find any reflection where it would change. In Prologue, the first thing we see is a woman being pushed to the ground. Funnily enough, this same woman can be found in cars when Michael returns to Ludendorff 9 years later during the mission Bury the Hatchet.
Christ alive! Oh, fudge!
She seems to be wearing the same outfit and hasn't aged a day. If you have seen any speedruns of GTA 5, you'd know that running in any direction during the final Prologue shootout will cause the shootout to end and the cutscene to play. One possible reason Rockstar did this is if you actually die during the shootout, Michael will stand up, which kinda gives away that he's still alive.
I'm standing!
Another possible reason is to prevent you from getting too close to Michael and Brad. Mods can reveal that both have their eyes open and are clearly alive. It is possible to access Los Santos with Michael before the mission prologue begins. First, while on any save file, load a new game. The timing is tricky for the next part, but a few seconds before you load in, you need to select your online character. I waited until the loading circle had spun 11 times and then began to hold and release F8 in a rhythm. Attempting to do this too early or too late seemed to prevent the glitch. My loading times of course will differ from your own, and what key you need to press depends on your version of the game. When you are asked if you want to go online, of course you select no. This will reveal Michael in Los Santos. The map will be almost completely covered, and if you save your game, you will have a 0% in the beginning save file. And you can even create an autosave with the same name by going into director mode. Unfortunately, after 5 seconds, Prologue starts as normal, even if you load these save files. In the vault on Prologue, it is possible to climb on a locker, clip out of bounds, and fall below the map into water. There isn't much to do under here, but it fascinates me that despite all my time screwing around in Prologue, I never found this. Grand Theft Auto 5 commits one of the biggest gaming sins: having unskippable cutscenes. At least it's only for the Prologue mission, but this still means speedrunners have to watch the same unplayable scenes over and over and over and over and over again. It can lead a man to do crazy things, like that time when I had all the scenes dubbed by anime girls.
You forget 1,000 things every day. How about you make sure this is one of them?
The Prologue cutscenes total over 4 minutes of the 6 minutes that it takes to complete the mission. This means you are forced to spend 2/3 of your time doing nothing at all, even if you've already seen the footage in a prior playthrough.
Why do this?
These cutscenes being unskippable is especially annoying given that the replay for the mission does allow you to skip most of them. You are only forced to watch them all when starting from a new game, which of course speedrunners do. But there has been a new development. After 8 years of hundreds of speedrunners spending thousands of hours watching the Prologue cutscenes, the train cutscene is now skippable. On the GTA 5 speedrun Discord, a strategy to achieve this was posted by...
Uncle Zora.
Uncle Zora, aka Crab1K, showed that if you made your car leak fuel prior to getting to the cutscene, and then crossed into the cutscene just as you mission failed from a lack of fuel, you would respawn on the other side of the cutscene. But why? When you enter this cutscene, you are both given the checkpoint and your vehicle is repaired to make sure it can play without issue. Thus, mission failing during the cutscene to skip forward to the checkpoint should be impossible by normal means. It turns out, however, that you get the checkpoint a handful of frames before the cutscene starts and repairs your vehicle. So you trigger the cutscene, you are given the checkpoint, a handful of frames pass, then the cutscene actually plays. Crab showed that you could fail during these frames and therefore skip over the cutscene. But hitting the cutscene trigger at the same time as you mission failed was really precise. Runners would start the fuel leak, line themselves up a certain distance away, and then accelerate when their fuel gauge had almost reached 0, hoping for it to hit 0 at the right time. It wasn't really consistent. The current better strategy is to shoot your car so fuel leaks, then drive to the cutscene trigger but dive out before you reach it. The cutscene trigger isn't a line really, but everything past this point, so when you stand up, you're actually standing in the cutscene trigger. But the cutscene will only trigger when you get back into your vehicle, as it can't be triggered on foot. Now by shooting the fuel at the same time as you get back into your car, you destroy your car just as you meet the conditions to trigger the cutscene, thus failing in the crucial frames for the skip and respawning as Trevor after the cutscene. This strategy currently saves 30 seconds, but it may save more if faster setups are found. Be sure to let me know down below what other GTA 5 facts and glitches compilations you wish to see. I wish you all the best.